Tell me about it. The final ending. I think her explaining the divorce to her family at Thanksgiving will be a big wake-up call to her too. She will have other people looking at her with the same "are you nuts" look I have had for several months regarding the reasons for the divorce. They won't leave her at all, and they will support her, no doubt. Will they believe that it was because we were a bad couple or I was a bad husband? I really don't think so. Likewise, they will contact me to see what my story is, and they will support me as much as her. The OM tale is what scared her. She will lose them to me for that, no doubt. I am hoping they tell her that she is crazy and a total idiot. Not that I think it will change anything, but they will. And they won't buy her story that much either. The more she talks, the more of a lie it becomes. The only thing I really want is the house and for her to pay her share. Everything else will work its way out. Do I really care about trashing her? No. I'd like everyone to know, but I'm not going to give away my biggest trading piece, fear of exposure, and get nothing in return. I know what she wants, silence. So far, this is the deal. I get most of everything and she gets me not running to her family. It's not concrete. I know that it can change at any time, but the alternative is to blow it all up. I lose it all and she will essentially lose her family. Too embarrassed to visit much. I'm not naive. I can tell she is getting advice from smarter, more savvy folks, and I know this is war, but so far, we have a tentative agreement. I think without actual papers in front of her, she's not entirely convinced that this is it. She's thinking she has time on her side. Job hunt could take months. That works to her benefit. Totally agree here, which is why I'm trying to light a fire under her. This may sound bad and conceited, but I can outthink circles around her. I just have to make the right moves and keep her confused, give her a carrot while I get the steak. Totally possible here. My talk with her yesterday may just have lit a fire. She is applying to lots of jobs today. I will talk with her this weekend, sit down and go through the divorce papers. It will add some reality. She wants fair. I just don't know what fair is until she is paid something. Fair is her half of all the bills. If that's more than she is making, she will say not fair, hence my conundrum. She knows I have proof of her infidelity, she just doesn't know what it is. I know if I drove to her family and told them everything, they would be blown away, but I have to keep her convinced my evidence is even better than that. So far, she has been very scared of what I have and what I know. I need to keep that edge for a while longer. Here is the latest great idea my STBX came up with for childcare. She asked the 12-year-old across the street if she could watch them. Which is fine, except we are asking her to watch them every day, 5 days a week, for 4 hours a day, for a year or more. Really, we are pinning our childcare option on a 12-year-old who, I'm sure, doesn't understand the enormity of the duty she is agreeing to. Banging head on wall. I told her no way. She can't possibly stick to it. It's way too big of a commitment. STBX is reaching for straws to be able to take a low-income job and get out. Like everything else, she just can't think straight. She did find an older lady, but, as usual, when I calculated her fee, it came to over $600 again. I can't ignore her choices, when she can't even make reasonable ones. She is so stupid these days, so determined to leave, she can't think. I told her last night to go live with him. She just ignores me. I suggested working at an apartment complex, because they usually give you free or heavily discounted rent, and they are flexible with the workday, so she could have the older two in the apartment and keep the youngest in the office with her. Save a lot. Not sure she understood that high finance. She is applying for better jobs, for the most part, but I did see some lower-paying jobs too. She is as desperate to get out as I am to get her out. But, come on man, get a job that pays the bills. Update, so, I have been cleaning the house, making dinners etc. I think she is feeling the weight of going to Thanksgiving without me, and having to deal with her family. She has been holed up in the bedroom for the last 2 days. She looks like crap. I have been acting like she just doesn't exist. Frankly, I don't even hear her when she talks to me. Also, I have done all the housework. The house is cleaner than it has been in years. She certainly could use child support. That's exactly why I want to keep the peace, let her leave quietly, even if she wants to think she will return someday. As it is now, she will walk out with almost nothing, and doesn't want to blow it all up into a nasty divorce where her family will know about all her actions. I am playing it cool, to get what I want. Telling her family now accomplishes nothing, other than a very fleeting moment of satisfaction for me. I can try to tell them some other time, and they may or may not believe me. Doesn't matter. I do tend to believe that her family will believe me more than her, and I think she knows that too. How wiling my wife is to just walk away with nothing will depend on how much her friends and the OM fill her head with getting her share of our stuff. The desired outcome is I want the house, and to give her as little as possible. Believe me, I want to buy a billboard and share with the world. But we are at peace, and things are going my way for now. So, I have to toe the line. I remind myself that I will be able to spread the news at some point, and that I really want the house and 90% of the assets. Just have to wait 59 more days. So, the STBX has gone with the we just don't get along reason for why we are divorcing. No, we don't get along when you are having an affair and have hit on several guys for the last 2 years. Anyway, wouldn't the smarter people ask, have you gone to marriage counseling? I mean, we were fine not that long ago. Having a very angry moment. Update, progressing to divorce, and she had a job interview today. Good stuff. Called me today to tell me I am sick of not having money and I won't be happy if I run out of gas and we are married. You have to give me money. I let her know 1. Being married didn't stop you from cheating. 2. Your happiness is now between you and your BF. It is not my problem anymore. 3. If you don't like your living conditions, by all means leave. The nice part is I kind of find this funny at the moment. She won't stop the affair, nor will she change the lifestyle she so desperately wants where she has several other inappropriate friends in her life. We do get along, did for years, very well actually. You must have missed a few pages, but she just wants out. Plain and simple. I have tried several times to get her to MC, she won't go. She wants to sweep everything under the carpet and move on with her life. I take zero pride in her being miserable in coming years, it actually keeps me up at night. 3 kids not having both parents together will devastate them. We have always done things as a family. This keeps me up at night. Matter of weeks. Hardly. She has been changing for 2 years. Did I handle it correctly? No, I didn't know what was going on. She has probably been thinking of leaving for a year and finally got close enough to her other man to be brave. I see this as similar to alcoholism. Do you cheer for them to stop drinking? Ask them nicely, not according to AA. When I was 15 years old, we locked my mother out of the house overnight. She slept in the car. It was an attempt to smash them in the face with reality. It didn't work either. She drank until she died, about 10 years later. My wife is absolutely high on the prospects of a new life. Not just away from me, but away from the family. She really envies women with no kids, or who have them half-time. She wants to come and go as she pleases, not have to make dinner all the time and be able to do what she wants with who she wants. Where would you have me draw the line? You can keep someone alive on life support for very long periods of time too, but that doesn't make it right. I can save the marriage, sure. I can let her do whatever the hell she wants to do, and hope and pray she decides that she is done playing and comes back. I don't have a problem as much with the affair if she showed some interest in saving the marriage. She doesn't. I would give my all the effort in the world. But sorry, I'm not going to be a doormat for her to wipe her feet on, which in my opinion, is what you're setting yourself up for. Don't be sure you won't have regrets. You may be wasting years of your life foolishly trying to save something that cannot be saved or is not worth saving anymore. Your wife may never come back or be the same again. I would regret being a fool just as much. If she just told me she didn't love me anymore, fine, let's work on why. She is way beyond that. She has to accept family life for me to be the better option, not just me. She will have to miss it first. I just find it so offensive that guys think that being a doormat for a year or more is the noble. I really love her route, and us who have respect for ourselves don't care about our kids or the marriage. She left the marriage mentally at least 6 months ago, and probably thinking about it a lot longer than that. If she makes any effort to I will gladly embrace it. She won't. The more I think about it, the more I think she wants a life change. That just includes leaving me too. Waiting around for her to want this life back seems like a losing proposition to me. Will I actually file when possible? I don't know. I only have about 45 days left. I may wait to see how she reacts to living in an apartment by herself for a month. Deep down though, I think it will take a year or two for her new life to pan out or not. She will miss me, I think, but she will love all her new freedoms. Kids, dinner and all that goes with being a family just wore her down. I run through all options multiple times a day. Don't think I don't take this as one of, if not the most important decision in my life, or my kid's life. The freedoms she so desires are to not have a family in my opinion. She is tired of the daily grind of school, making lunches, and making dinner, gripes almost daily about this. In addition, she doesn't want me to have any input on her life, who she hangs out with, talks to, flirts with, etc. In short, she wants me out of her life. If her goal, which I think it is to test drive another man and keep me as her backup, then I don't want her back. If you can patiently sit and wait for your spouse to sow her wild oats and maybe come back if she finds no one better, then that's great. I just can't do it, and what I got back wouldn't be worth it. We would just survive until the kids left, and divorce then. Even if my wife did talk to me or a therapist, I doubt she knows why she is so unhappy. I have tried to piece it together from actions and statements over the last 2 years. So, you know without a doubt why your wife wants out. I seriously doubt it. You may never know either. You have to lose the holier-than-thou attitude to have a decent discussion. Your hang on to their feet as they walk out the door strategy may work at times, but I'm sure the 180 strategy does too, and both fail. Otherwise we wouldn't have a 50% divorce rate in this country. Neither strategy is the proven method. Sure, I may be moving too fast towards divorce, but I don't have to sign the decree. Equally, you may be not only wasting your time and effort, but your hug them while they hate you strategy may push your wife away further too. Neither of us know what the hot button is, or if we can even get to it. I was trying to hold on at first, sure. Now, and for the last 3 weeks or so, I stopped. I am completely letting her go, and I think she most certainly will. I think you have misinterpreted my actions. I am in no way holding her back, monitoring her activities, etc. Lately I have taken control of all the cleaning and more than half of the cooking. Partially to show her I will be just fine without her, and partially because I need to start getting used to all my new duties. I already work on myself, go to the gym 6 times a week, etc. She knows there are plenty of other women out there for me. She doesn't care about that right now either. So, I am acting as though she is already gone, for my sake. I have no problem trying something different, but she has to stop with the new man and the other men. She won't do that at this point in her life. She will need to see what living on her own, alone, will do for her. She may love it, she may come crying back. I have blame in all this, I don't shy away from that. I think by most counts, and her own family, I have been a great husband, even by her own statements less than a year ago. When she first asked for space 5 months ago, I moved to another bedroom, and we basically separated at that point though lived in the same house. I essentially was doing the 180 then, not on purpose, as I didn't know anything then. I actually thought she just needed space from me. So, the 3-week time frame I mentioned, is me moving on. Like to many others on here, my world revolved around her. When she was unhappy, I tried to make her happy. When she was sick, I waited on her hand and foot. If she wanted to go out, I watched the kids. When she wanted to overindulge in alcohol, I stayed sober to watch the kids. When she insisted that all the men in her life are friends, I tried to accept it, though that is what we fought about for the last 2 years. Because of this, I don't have many hobbies other than my kids. So, yeah, I do need to get back to thinking about me. I will also say that I probably am driving her away more with my anger because of not only the affairs she had, but the total disregard for our marriage, the lies, and the pain she will cause our kids. Like a friend of mine said, she is unhappy with herself and is projecting that onto me. I really believe that. She is very confused, I think, at this point. She knows how angry I am at her, so she would never approach me, which is something I need to change for sure. She has changed so much in the last year, though the seeds were being planted for the last 2 at least. She doesn't hate me, she is bored, tired of the family routine, and scared of old age. I firmly believe she thinks this will be a bold, wonderful new adventure. That's why I think it reflects less on me, but certainly I have a hand in this too, no doubt. I don't want a divorce at all. I stay awake at night thinking of the pain to the kids, and the fact that we will always have to schedule time with kids, grandkids, etc. Alternating kids on holidays, turns my stomach. I don't think she even thinks of it, to be honest. If you asked her a year ago about us, she would say I was the best thing that ever happened to her. My birthday card exactly 1 year ago read, "Next to you, I am the happiest wife in the world. I love you more than words can say." Now she just wants out and has colored our relationship to the point where she doesn't think she is happy with me, and I never really loved her. She told me she just wants to see if she can live without me, which I was okay with, until I find out about the OM and read the Living in Limbo book. Then I realize she is more test driving her new man, physically and emotionally. Never was a very physical woman at all, to see if she would be happier with him. She is totally okay with me doing the 180, which doesn't help things, hasn't noticed or cared, which I know is a bad sign. I also feel confident she will want back. I just don't know if I want her back after all she has done and will do, and really don't think I can wait the 6 months to 3 years for her to figure it out. At this point I feel like D is coming, though I am willing to avoid if at all possible. I do feel like I have the burden of the kids and the M to myself. She doesn't care. When she did talk, we discussed the pain to the kids. Her only response, "They will be fine." She doesn't want to talk about anything, which fuels my anger. Won't talk about the other man, answer simple questions about D, nothing. If I could fight her for full custody at this point, I would. I am much closer to the kids than her, so I think at least the oldest will come live with me in 2 years. The others may follow. Her family will figure it out, even if I have to lead them to the truth, so she will be a sad, sad case in a couple years. Everyone that cared for her, other than her new man, will think of her differently, or be gone from her life. So, she went out last night. I didn't care what time she came in, and don't care today. I must be moving to the acceptance phase, at least a little. Funny, then she posted a pic of her with her female friend at the place she said she was going. Pic looks like crap, so not her to post a bad pic of herself. But it was as though she is trying to prove to me that she was where she said, with who she said. I was okay if she was on a date with other man. I have begun to move on. To some extent, I have to get used to not watching what she is doing. I have watched her like a hawk for 2 years to see what she is up to. I don't feel any bitterness, but I am working on it every day. As far as the post, I don't purposely look at her FB, but since we are linked, I get a notification. Good way to share kid pics, especially once D, but maybe we do it another way. True to script, yes, it is my fault. I was too controlling and jealous and she fell out of love with me, of course. I should have been more accepting of the 3 to 4 men that crossed the marriage boundary, including the affair. All I did was to make her happy. The more people I talk to, including my friend who is a MC, this isn't about me. She is the one who is unhappy with who she is, and I can't fix it. That's why the advice is to just work on yourself, get happy, and move on with your life. If she wants back on board, she needs to put forth the effort. I don't know if I would cave or not. Maybe, but she would have to dramatically change her life, get rid of all male friends, etc. I don't think it's something I have to worry about. A month later, not much has changed. While we cooperated somewhat for Christmas, making dinners and shopping for the kids, I continue to move on with my life, and the 180. I was off work for about 2 weeks, which she spent the majority of time in her bedroom, and I spent with the kids. I went out a couple of times with my friends, etc. Seems like she is depressed and looks like crap, but I have done my best to be happy, playful with the kids, and upbeat. To my knowledge, she has not done any job hunting as the last 2 weeks at all. The 61-day waiting period for the divorce ends on end of this month, so I now really need to meet with an attorney to see what my options are in terms of finalizing the divorce, whether she has a job or not. Here is the newest update. So night she texts me, she is out of town with the kids at her mom's house, and tells me I have a job. I start Monday. I am bringing her home with me to watch the kids. I text back, okay, but just so you know, my MIL living with me is not a long-term solution. Then she got irritated when I asked about her getting an apartment. So, they show up yesterday, mother-in-law, her and father-in-law. So, here I am, 3-1, and she is making it obvious that she is trying to bait me into getting angry so she can show them we argue all the time. I guess the father-in-law is there for moral support, and to protect her from the evil STBX, me. Well, last night was better. I began to fully embrace the in-laws to show them that I have not changed. I also decided, since she refuses to answer any basic questions about the divorce, to start to discuss the matters in front of her mother. This serves as a nice forum to show her what is going on, and to dispel the spin that the STBX has laid out about how awful I am. So, I am seriously considering arranging a meeting with just me and the parents with the intent on discussing. 1. I appreciate them coming to help us out with watching the kids. 2. Apologizing for them having to be in this situation. 3. Telling them that I don't know what their daughter has told them, but that she is in the throes of a midlife crisis. 4. I have fought to try to keep the marriage, but she refused. Chose divorce and is determined to just leave. She just wants out. 5. She may need more support down the road when all the dust clears. I would stay respectful and classy, not putting her down, but letting them know she is just very confused, etc. I actually sent her a text today, mostly to get the chip off her shoulder and help the deep-process, that said, today I have a lot of sympathy for you. You are in a tough state of mind, and I hope you have a good support network now and when your midlife fog clears, to help you. I tried to talk to them, sat down with them this morning. They just won't have any of it. Both of them are burying their heads in the sand. She isn't having an affair because she said so. I think, honestly, if I played the VAR, they would not listen. Walk out of the room. I have been advised several times to not admit that I recorded her talking to him. Not sure if there is a legal ramification or not. Last night I said, I know you're having an affair, and you have another phone. She said, prove it. Well, 1, just the fact that you are asking for proof and not denying is an admission. And 2, you, me, and God know, and every time you look in the mirror you have to deal with the lie. That is good enough for me. The dumb part is, there is almost nothing to fight about. I have literally poured everything into letting her stay home. She is fighting over almost nothing. Accused me of hiding assets. Really? Then why are we so far in debt? The 180 just convinced her that I don't care. So, it drove her further away. Cutting off her funds motivated her to sue me because I was such a jerk. Won't leave because it's her house too and has 100% support from parents. She has totally brainwashed them not even to entertain the thought that she is cheating. When I go to the attorney tomorrow, he specializes in the male side. I am going to ask him about any legal ramifications of revealing the recording. I have come to accept her taking this route, but the blindness of her parents is shocking to me. Use your brain. You can support her, but not condone her behavior. There is a difference. She knows she had the affair and so do I. She is piling up the wreckage to save herself. I cannot even convince them that it's most likely part of a midlife crisis. They don't believe me. She has sold them that she just doesn't love me anymore, and that I forced her there. For years they have doted even excessively about what a good husband I was, by ignoring her. Now it's costing me a few $1,000s, when she would have potentially negotiated with me. As far as it being solid evidence, not so much either. According to my lawyer, it is most likely a violation to tape someone without their knowledge. She was going to look it up, but I could be charged with something, I assume a misdemeanor, for doing so that evidence is not usable. She did state we could put her on the stand and thinks it would be pretty easy to get a confession, but at a huge cost, and not worth the 10% sway in the assets. Her parents have heard from me that she is having an affair. If they choose not to listen, that is their choice. I told them. Update. So, I had an hour or so convo with STBX. She gave me the love you but not in love speech, and we talked about how we will handle some stuff going forward, etc. Funny, in that conversation, she said, who knows, maybe in 3 months I will regret all this. I know you think it's too late then, but, and then you know what they say about love, let it go, and if it comes back to you, it was true love. I think she really thinks this is just a marriage vacation. Is this her idea of trying to keep me as plan B? Or maybe the realization of her new life is starting to take hold, and it's already not quite as green as she thought. That's how I took it. So, STBXW calls me, texts me this and the car is not working right. I respond, how so? tells me the car is shaking, etc. So, I tell her, well, it's your car, sell it or take it to the dealership. Her reply, I have to work, I guess I don't. I let her know the dealership is open until 7 p.m. Is this cake eating? I am the handyman, but not good enough to be anything more. Yes, I laughed to me during this discussion. I used to be the yard man with benefits, but the benefits were taken away, so the yard man quit. Had a throwdown with her mother yesterday when I refused to buy tires for her car. Basically, now mother knows everything and is still okay with the divorce. No, I didn't buy the tires. She traded the car in and bought a new one under her name only. It was an older car that she didn't like anyway, and was going to sell after the divorce. This gets the car out of my name too. So, I hear from the attorney a couple days ago. The mediation session has been pushed back now. Really, I have to live in the reptile enclosure for another 3 weeks. This is like a bad episode of Fear Factor or something. Yet I keep waking up to it. My oldest son now knows about the D. Seems okay, though I'm sure the reality hasn't kicked in. The youngest doesn't know, but the middle child did know, but seems to be blocking it all out. He is the one I worry about. Tried to express concern to X, but she rolled her eyes as disgust. I guess because I am trying to guilt her into staying. So not at this point. It's funny, I used to get texts all day long and 2 to 3 phone calls from her. Now I don't, and don't even think about it frankly. I don't bother looking at the phone records anymore, don't want to know where her car is or who she is talking to. I would like to return to our old life, but no, that's not possible anymore. Even if she came skyrocketing out of the fog, it would take me a long time to accept her, and much longer to trust her. She looks miserable. Even once she gets rid of me, then she looks to be saddled with her mom for a while, along with the guilt of her actions, fear of her future, and soon the freedom of work won't be so great either. She already started griping to me about her soon-to-be long work hours. I giggled inside. So, recap, she left a man who loved her, staying at home with her kids, no mother around, used to have a 5-day limit before mom drove her nuts, and getting to work out daily, for full-time employment, half-time kids, and living with her mom. Yeah, I see all the logic here. I do find it difficult to ride the indifferent and not rude line, which cause tense, miserable conditions. Frankly, I care less and less about the mind games and just want her out. I have told her and will continue to tell her that she is not, nor will she ever, be my friend again. I want to relax the tension as we get into the divorce proceedings because, as a mother, she seems to have the upper hand when it comes to getting the kids, the house, etc. She may be more willing to screw me if she hates me. If she wants to think we are good old friends until it's final, go ahead. Once it's over it will be different. I am more at peace by going with it somewhat. I don't want to go home to a turf war, miserable pit of hatred, which is what it was just a week or so ago. I will be cordial, but not friendly. I will gladly talk about the kids, but only when it involves a decision that needs to be made. Not idle chatter. That's why I tasted the hot sauce, was cordial, but then got up and went to the other room to inhibit further discussion. I keep it short, and to the facts. No idle conversation, but no fighting either. I sleep better. I feel confident she will come back, and that it won't be pretty when it hits her. But going back is a long journey for me. Time will tell, but odds are I will not go back to her. She wants primary to get more money, only. She knows that they are closer to me, and how much they need me in their lives. I think 50-50 is the best for them too, which is the main concern. No, she can't handle it, but would give them to me and take the $. If she won't take 50-50, I will have to push for more, and we will end up in court. Things are okay. I had a good weekend with just me and the kids' mother outlaw. She is on her way out. Not in, left on Wednesday, and X supposedly went to Austin to visit a girlfriend early on Saturday morning. I was curious if the kids would miss their mother, granted it was only Sat and most of Sun. They didn't ask about her or mention her at all, telling of her involvement in their lives. Yesterday I received a text from her uncle. He said that he and her aunt have been told to butt out and stay quiet, but that he wanted to stay in touch, etc. Okay, so, with moving day approaching, at some point, I need some advice on how to handle. I have no problem helping some, but if I do, the kids would most likely be there to watch. If I let her do it, and take the kids somewhere, I am certain she would take stuff that she shouldn't. So, we are rapidly approaching the day X moves out. Good, but that means we have to tell the kids what is going on soon too. Nauseating. I understand that they will have lots of questions and concerns, cry and want to talk, and we will work through all that. I know we need to reassure them that we love them and will always be there for them, and that this is just between mom and dad only. So, mediation is over, and we have an agreement. As expected, and despite her putting her hand on the Bible and swearing to it, she tried to screw me as much as she could. She will be out in no more than 3 weeks. We have close to 50-50 sharing arrangement as joint conservators. Though she is technically the primary, I don't see anything that she can do that I cannot, or any extra benefits other than some additional time with the kids. The child support, which was the biggest issue, took all day and we compromised. It's too high for me, and I'm sure too low for her. Mother Outlaw actually had the nerve to look at me and say, "I wish this never happened, but I was never against you." I was able, however, to prevent my thoughts from hitting my lips, and was able to just walk away. So, yesterday we had the talk with the boys. Although my oldest knew what was going on, he still was upset. Both boys cried for about 10 minutes or so. We reassured them that Daddy was going to see them all the time. X even said I could see them every day if I wanted. I, of course, did 90% of the talking. I then took them roller skating and they asked more questions in the car, etc. I kept reassuring that I am not going anywhere, that I love them more than anything, and that we will still do stuff like we do now. They were concerned that they would have to switch schools, etc. But after they realized that they won't, and that they can still come home when with Daddy, they seemed a lot better. I checked on them constantly during the day, hugging and asking how they are, or if they would like to talk. They seemed okay. I'll continue to monitor them. On another note, she just called me to confirm she can use my insurance to pay for a small procedure she needs to have done because she is sick day in day out. Of course, stopping twice to cry as she is telling me this. I calmly let her know that she can use my insurance, but I don't believe it's fair to use my HSA money to pay for it. Granted, she can do either until the final decree, but she seemed to agree. Nice thing was her crying didn't affect me at all. So, found out last night that Mother Outlaw had started moving the crap out yesterday, and I think X is moving today. Finally, I can go home and not see those two. Might be the first weekend I can relax in 6 months. I changed the alarm code and got the keys. I will change the locks as soon as I can. Update, sort of adjusting to the new schedule. X doesn't contact much, which is good, just about the kids. I am working out a lot, trying to stay busy, etc. Idle time seems to leave me thinking of the last 6 months, and just gets me angry again. Kids seem to be doing okay, thought the oldest still struggles. They repeatedly tell me they want to stay with me, but I tell them that they can't, and that they will be back soon enough. Hard to get used to the new lifestyle though. A month later, had an interesting morning. Mother Outlaw has been texting me. The pressure of the tense relationship is getting to her. She is holding to the logic that God will punish her daughter if what I say is true, but that she will love her daughter. I, of course, can't let this illogical argument just pass me by. I say, well, of course you love her, and always will, but that doesn't mean you condone everything that she does either. You made it as easy as possible for her to walk out on her family. No MC, no stress, just support. If she committed murder, would you cover it up and say God will handle it? I don't think so, or at least it's not the right thing to do. Look, my mother was an alcoholic. That didn't mean I didn't love her. But I certainly didn't make booze runs for her or support her habit in any way. She is just so lost, unable to mentally or spiritually handle the whole thing. I told her to talk to her pastor. He can help her handle the situation. Final update. Well, it's done. Judge signed the decree. It was a hard morning. Maybe the finality of it all, the actual end of a chapter of my life, still seems so ridiculous to me, I guess. I feel like I need to write her a long, heartfelt letter. But I know it would be a waste of the ink. She wouldn't care. Maybe I'll write it to express my emotions, and fold it up and put it away. If she ever cares to know how I felt when we divorced, I'll give it to her. If not, I'll give it to my kids to at least let them know how I felt. A reflection on myself. I have some co-decency issues, and I'm a rescuer. I sacrificed a lot to make her happy, and it always just a short-term fix. I don't have many regrets, however. I fought for the marriage and still fight for the kids. I probably need to read more, but I just don't know what my share of the blame is. I am a communicator. I was loving and affectionate, but certainly not falling over her like the guys on FB, etc. I do think it's a MLC because of the quick turn from her telling, showing me she loved me too. I don't love you anymore, though it doesn't matter. I have moved on and starting to see what appreciation for me looks and feels like. I learned I'll be just fine. Most of all, I think, I learned you can't make other people happy. I was always trying to fix her to make her happy, and never reached a point where I felt she was. I was the man of her dreams, got her the lifestyle she wanted, the family she wanted, all only short-term fixes. My next spouse will have to be happy on her own. My comment, what you guys think about this ending? OP reflected on himself, became a better person. He also left a nasty person and has a good job. He will do fine moving forward. You agree? Comment down and tell me what you feel about this one.